Hey everybody, it's 2 with 3D Cycle Parts, and I'm going to make a video about the installation of the Stalk delete kit, or the turn signal repair kit, whatever you want to call it, for the Honda XR650L. Today I'm going to be working on this 08 XR650L. As far as I know, every XR650L I've seen has the exact same blinkers on it. I don't think they've changed at all. This should fit any years. This kit's on our website at 3dcycleparts.com. You can go there to the store. This kit has everything you need to do all 4 blinkers, and what it'll do is it will eliminate this rubber stalk right here. Okay, this right here is the rubber stalk that comes on the blinkers. It's about 2 inches long and makes the blinkers, stick on out here. The front of this bike has already been done, so you can see how they're tucked in now. So there those are. This is with the kit on the front already, and I'm going to show you some of the steps to actually do this. I'm not going to cover so much the actual removal and the replacement of the blinkers themselves, because that's pretty straightforward. Just tracking the wires down. In the front, you got to remove the headlight plastic to get to the wiring connections to unhook those and then put that back together. It's pretty straightforward. What I'm going to show today, focus on, is going to be what is specific to this kit. Taking the factory blinker apart. Sorry about the noise. It's nice weather here and the shop door's open, so there's cars driving by on the highway. So I'm going to show you how to the specific things about this kit. Okay, taking a wrench and loosen this nut up. Sometimes these things can be pretty tight, and you don't have a lot to hold on to, because all you have is this bracket, So if you have a vise, you can take a vise and clamp this thing in there just lightly to hold it, to get this nut loose. Otherwise, you may have to get somebody to hold it for you. Anyways, you take this nut off of here. Slide it all the way off the harness. You're not going to reuse this nut, so you can throw that into your nut bin or whatever. So then you're going to slide the bracket all the way off. We will be reusing the bracket, so save that. Then you take a number 2 Phillips. Remove this screw. Then you just take the cover and you wiggle that off right off the front of there. Take the bulb out. Then what I do is take a little pair of channel locks or pliers or whatever. You can take it and kind of this reflector is put onto 2 pegs right here. So it slides over these 2 pegs, and then they just melt it. They kind of mushroom out the top of the pegs. Really just looks like to kind of hold this thing in place, just to put it together. Anyways, you can I've done it different ways. You can take a screwdriver and put under the reflector, and then just pop the reflector up off of there. I usually take just a pair of pliers or something and just kind of break loose the melted part that's on there, just enough to where you see it just fell off once I did that. And then this is what you're going to be left with. Okay, let's see if you can see that. All right, now right there, the silver thing that my index finger is on, that needs to pull straight out. You can grab on that with a pair of pliers. It's pretty self-explanatory once you see it, once you know that's what you're looking for, and you just gonna have to wiggle that thing pretty good, okay? And it'll pull out. That's what it looks like. And then that'll pull out like this. See, it's now loose. All right. Now here is the hardest part of the whole thing, and it's gonna be the worst on this one right here because of how long this wire is. Okay. What you're gonna need to do first, I like to use a rag and some brake parts cleaner, but you can use whatever. Now I'm just gonna pour some 3-in-1 oil at the top of this. Kind of just let it run down the thing. And if you're not careful, this could be the messiest part. As long as you can feel it, as long as you can feel it twisting inside, you're okay. I'm gonna pour a little oil down in there. I'm gonna put some oil in it before like I say, this is by far the trickiest part, and it's not bad. See, with some oil on it, it's actually just sliding right in there. Anyways, you get this started. Having oil on it is definitely the trick. And just stick it in just a little bit, and then move your hand out just a hair, enough to just get a little more on it. And see, okay, see how it's came through this side now, and you can see it over here. Once it does that, you can pull on it, and once it gets through this side, what I do is you just kind of pull it like that. All right, so what I do, it'll bunch up on this side some, so I'll just pull the whole thing sometimes and kind of stretch that black part out, okay, and then I'll grab it over here and pull on it. And see, I pulled it through a few inches, and then it bunches up right here. All right, let me turn. Once it bunches up, I'll stretch it out like that, grab it from this side, and just pull. See it coming through there? Main thing you don't want to do is bunch it up too much on this side, or it may split that housing or break it. And when you get to that point right there to where it's melted, just yank it through. All right, what you're gonna do is pull this wire, feed it out of the housing, okay, because we need to get it out of the way for a minute. All right, now if you see your green wire in here, the one that goes down under this fixture for the light, all right, the green wire, the terminal on that green wire, it's in the way. So right now it's actually sitting on top of a plastic tab, and it won't push down out of the way. So what we do is take a screwdriver and you stick it right in there, and very gently, we don't want to break that thing off, okay, very gently just bend that wire until it'll go down past that tab, okay, because all it needs to do is push straight. That terminal needs to bend down just a hair, okay. And so you stick it between the housing and the terminal and just pry out, pry towards you just a little bit, and that thing, you'll feel it kind of drop down there, and you just push it down just a hair. And what that's going to do, that's going to make room for our new parts. If I can find what I did with them. Here they are. Okay, so that when you do this, you're gonna put one of these in here. You take the new bolt, the hollow bolt. Start your wires in there. These will have a bigger hole than the factory Stalk. So once you start this on it, it pulls down really easy. Okay, you pull it down almost to the housing. Leave it out some. I do. And then stick your wires back through. And then stick that bolt into that hole. Feed it past the fixture. Okay. And then just pull your wires. Hold the housing. Pull the wires gently. And feed those right in there, and it'll pull up there just like that, to where that rubber grommet that seals off will go right back in there and seal off on that hollow bolt. And that's what you're left with. Okay. Then you take one of the 4 plastic bushings in the kit. These bushings are made just to fit this housing. You're going to start it on there with, there's a step on one side. You're going to start on there with that step towards the wire. Feed that up. And then stick that up, slide that down on it. Press that together, and it'll kind of, you line it all up, it'll snap right into place, and that's what you're left with. Okay. That plastic bushing fits perfectly into that hole. Okay. And once you get it to here, you basically you have your blinker back ready to put on the bike. So slide that into there. Slide that through the hole that the factory the blinker was in. Then you're going to take one of the lock washers. It's a split lock washer and a nut. You just hold it by the wires here, slide those through. Slide these down onto the threaded bolt. And slide that down into place. Okay. Then you take your 14mm. Actually, that is not right. You need a 17mm. There's not a lot of room to work with in there, but you can get it in there. And so you kind of want to look at that, and you can set up on the bike and stick the bolt through it even if you want to get your angle right for your blinker. Once you got the angle where you want it, pretty much go ahead and hold those in place and then snug that bolt down. You're going to have to run it a couple, maybe a turn or so to snug it down because of that lock washer. You want that lock washer to be flattened out completely. And you don't want to do too much tightening past that. We don't want to destroy it. We just want to tighten it down nice and snug. You take your reflector and you just slide it right back over those pegs. Make sure your terminal's down in the plugs down in the light fixture, and find where that thing goes. Plug it in. Take your housing. If you hold it straight up like this, it'll keep that reflector down where it goes. Somewhere up here I put that screw. Alright, and there's your screw for the housing. Put that screw back in there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us, email us, anything. But that's it. That is the kind of basic rundown of the install of the Stalk Delete Kit for the XR650L. We just remove that stalk out of that blinker, and so you can see right there how far, whereas right now the blinker starts there, before it would start all the way out there, about 2 inches further out, 1 3/4 or so. So anyways, if there's some of these around here somewhere. See, there's one of these right here, like this bike, they were split open. Okay, I mean, sometimes you're going to do that. This kit costs less than what one OEM blinker would cost. And these housings, I'm telling you, I've been working on motorcycles long enough. These housings, aftermarket blinkers just really bother me, because they usually are just really, really junky. They don't last long. There's bikes around here with aftermarket blinkers on them. They never, I mean, they can be 6 months old and they're usually not working. At least one of them or something, or the lenses fell off or something. These OEM blinkers are built super well. Usually the weak point in them is the rubber stalk, and they get broken or whatever. They stick too far out because of it. So in our experience, tucking them in is better. You know, some people say, hey, you know, oh, well, they don't flex anymore. Well, in our experience and our customers, we sold hundreds of these kits for the KLR 650, and the first gen KLR 650 is kind of the same thing. The OEM blinker sticks way out. They get broken off all the time. Over the years, the rubber disintegrates, they fall apart, and people have had way less problems with breaking blinkers tucking them in, even though they're rigid. Tucking them in, and on the KLR, they're completely rigid. The front and rear is completely fixed. They don't have this little dampening bracket like this, and they just work. So get yourself a set of those. We'll be glad to send you a set. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.